what I'm saying, Mike Raglan. Are you shorting it up, Raz? Maybe because you dress, you know what I'm saying, you dress cool or whatever. They be like, hell no. There's always 1,000 Michaels everywhere, so just to always be able to go Mike Rags, you know, it just stuck. That's how I came up with the Rags. I'm ready to go. Who we got? Gucci versus Jeezy. We recording on the monumental day for the black for the black culture, black trap culture. Who you got?
Only appropriate. I'm staying out of it. I'm gonna leave myself in the middle of it because it's just like the reason that I can't pick is it because I love Jeezy, but I like Gucci too. And the fact that Gucci, I went and counted it the other day. I think on Apple Music, Jeezy had like 36 to 40 projects. Gucci got 84.
Sure.
So it's like I could never listen to all of his music to find the perfect 20. It would take me too long. So I don't know where he coming with.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's gonna all be based off who lead off. If Jeezy lead off, Gucci can offer a proper rebuttal. I feel like if Gucci get the lead, then Jeezy may be able to manipulate his game a little bit better.
Who say you, Big Gat?
As the older one of the crew, kind of feel like my allegiance is leaning Jeezy side.
Jeezy.
Yeah. But I mean that's me listening to more Jeezy than I have Gucci.
Gucci, right?
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is for me. But I mean, I'm definitely more of a Gucci fan. I'm not even really a Jeezy fan at all. I respect, you know what I'm saying, what he means to trap music, but I would always listen to, even back in those days, I would rather listen to T.I. than Jeezy. And then when Gucci, you know, being from Birmingham, you know, him having Bessemer ties, it was just like niggas I hung around with, just loving Juice around Sports Center, Wilt Chamberlain around them days. You feel me? Around them days.
Go crazy.
So shit.
So you leaning Gucci?
Oh yeah, I feel like Gucci gonna take it easy. I'm not gonna say easy because you're just choosing 20 of your greatest songs, right? You're just choosing 20 of your greatest songs. So I think it's both of them have 20 bangers. Easy.
Oh,
they both have 20 bangers. So I'm not saying it like that, but I'm just saying I think it's easier for Gucci to grab 20 because he has so many.
Gucci, stay pregnant Gucci on there, man. You go pregnant Gucci the whole 20. And it's gonna be a beautiful thing. Even if you don't win it, we gonna love everything you play, pimp.
But Gucci might try to slide in some verses.
New?
Yeah, some verses from like the last couple.
So
a couple of little bangers, you know. And Jeezy, you know, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait till Recession 2 come out. But I just don't trust Jeezy in 2016 or better. For real, when it comes to making any kind of like relevant music, I don't trust Jeezy. Like,
Yeah, he has fallen off.
I don't think he's the same.
We gonna know about his new album.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
So this is more of a promo move, y'all think?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
okay.
For Jeezy, at least, I know it's to promote
Which, you know,
Recession
from a
2.
marketing standpoint,
Right? Yeah, because it drops tonight.
Yeah.
Recession 2 drops tonight, so
Yeah.
I think it's just big though. The fact that they are here, able to sit down in the same room, like you said they not gonna dab it up. No, then I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it has to be love necessarily, like just love there. I just think it needs to be enough, you know, just like maturity that'll just be like, you know what? Although they were in some like real beef, like people lost lives behind this beef.
Facts.
They can still come at it 15 years later and just be like, well, you know what? We grown now. We adults now. You know.
Yeah, man.
We were young, making stupid street nigga decisions. Now we corporate. You know, like we
in a different lane. We both in different lanes.
So it's like, it's just good to see that for the culture. That's what I like about it. To be honest, I don't care who wins. You know, I just honestly, it's just big for the culture. I'm just more of a Gucci fan, so I know whenever they play anything Gucci, my head gonna go crazy for it. And it might be Zaytoven too. It might be Zaytoven why I really like.
Out for Gucci.
Why I really like.
And he need to come out to that.
What's
Gucci, Gucci. That'll just turn me up. Just do that one for me, man.
What was that off State? Was that
It wasn't State versus Razor Davis. It may have been
because it was called
Trap
Classical,
God.
wasn't it?
It may have been
Wasn't
Trap
that
God
Classical
or King
song?
Gucci. It was either Trap God or King Gucci.
One of them.
See, I had no idea Gucci had this many projects.
Man,
Man,
84.
I had
And
no
that's all
idea.
So much
mixtape.
music.
That's mixtape,
so much.
dog.
Other than
Gucci
Wayne,
working.
other than Wayne, nobody dropped more mixtapes than
Then Gucci did.
Wow.
Gucci dropped at least 6 to 8 projects while incarcerated.
Yeah.
Because he had that much backstory.
Yeah, Gucci,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Gucci been
Okay.
making.
Yeah, he
Now I will
loaded.
say this about Gucci though, because I've had this talk with people over the years too. Sometimes his music can get a little more saturated, like it's not gonna all hit maybe as well because he has so much. So it's like at a certain point it may be like a little bit more quantity over quality. But I mean, he definitely has quality in there. But sometimes you have to get through it because he has so much. You're like, is this really quality right here?
It's
It's
like,
like,
in a situation like this, though, it's like a better more than less. Like,
yeah.
I only need 20.
Yeah, I only need. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying.
I only need
And I got
20.
X amount of thousand.
I only need 20.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
I got 20 hits. 20 guaranteed, no feature hits.
That's the thing too, because I was talking to somebody. A lot of Jeezy's best songs, that I ain't gonna say his best songs. The songs that I enjoy from Jeezy, I noticed that a lot of them have features on them. Don't get me wrong, he does have a few songs where it's just him going hook, hook, verse, hook. You know, it's just Jeezy. But the ones that I really stick to with Jeezy are the ones where he has somebody else that kind of switches up. Because to me, it's just Jeezy is so Jeezy that he's always Jeezy, and he hasn't changed. And that, for some people, that's good. You know,
That's like the
like.
similarity to Ross, you know. Like
Right,
you
yeah.
know what they expect out of him.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
know,
it's
it's
not a
not
thing
deep.
where you gotta guess it. You know exactly what they coming with. It's just about whatever they about to say on this.
I
on this
actually
track.
feel, I was telling somebody today, I said they probably should have, to be honest or to be fair to like 2 Chainz when he went up against Ross.
Put
I
it
feel
in
like
Jeezy,
Ross should have,
Ross.
Ross and Jeezy would have been more appropriate.
Yeah.
And maybe a Chain and Gucci might have been more appropriate. Just the type of, like, cause Jeezy's music is, even though it's trap music, his is more like anthem like as well though. His is gonna be some trap southern beats, but the way he comes at him is still like an anthem. Like, you know, he give you stuff like Recession. You know what I'm saying? Just big music with big intros, kind of like how Ross does. But then you got Gucci and Chainz. They just make slappers. Like, they just really trying to make songs that's gonna make, like, they gonna bang your head, you know, and it's gonna slap. Like, that's, they both make good music. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I prefer, me personally, I enjoy listening to
I would have
Chainz
rather.
and Gucci.
I probably would have rather took the Gucci tip.
Gucci Chip.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Cause the thing is, like, what people like lack to realize is Gucci got something for everything. Like, at this point in time, he can cover all bases in regards to what kind of song. He got some commercial tracks, you know what I'm saying? He got the mature tracks.
True.
He got some tracks and he got that trap music. Like, and they both are sitting here basically at one point having an argument about who is the cultivator and creator of
the trap,
music, who
yeah.
started it. You
Right,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
It would have made sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it would have made sense.
But while we're on it, we all agree that T.I. is the author of trap music.
Yeah, for me.
I
Okay.
think so. I believe. He might not be. He might have been the first one to stop making that type of trap, like out of those original trap music people, like the trap Mount Rushmore. I feel like Teezy was the first. Not Teezy. T.I. was the first to like break away from it and like try to switch up his sound. You know,
Yeah.
He didn't stay true to just the grit of the trap music that he kind of authored. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
shit, he gave us trap music,
Crazy
and then
thing
after
is,
that,
though,
that's when it started to really blow up.
They were like right here though.
Yeah,
In the time period.
Okay.
right,
It's
right,
like
right.
literally like this.
And
Like,
I guess T.I. had more commercial success at the time than
sure.
Gucci did.
For sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Doesn't mean Gucci wasn't still working. It's
Right.
just,
Right.
you know, T.I. was
Right.
on BET and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
forth. So.
He was getting a lot more
didn't he
recognition
have
by
who-
that time.
Did he have LA?
who?
Yeah, I
T.I.
think so. I
Yeah,
think
He had
so.
LA Reid.
And then,
LA
I mean,
Reid, yeah.
I think
he had
LA
a
Reid.
Pharrell
Yeah,
banger.
and I'm saying, but I think he had people like.
But you
By the
gotta-
time trap music came out, he had somebody
I'm about to
already
say,
kind of pushing him, trying to help
Trap
him.
music is like 2003. So 2002, 2003. Right after that, you got Urban Legend. Right after that, you got King. Like, by the time ATL came out in 2006, like,
Yeah, out of there, yeah, for sure,
He's in
yeah.
a different lane.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, but okay.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I tell people like,
So his reign wasn't long. Like,
nah, yeah, that's why I say he got off of the trap before them, but he did it just as well or better than anybody who's ever done trap music to me. You know what I'm saying? Shit, like I said, when I think of trap music, first I'm gonna think of is the album trap music, like first, and then I get to like, oh yeah, Gucci and Jeezy, and then you got some of the new age, you know, like Migos, you know, they try to put in there and stuff like that, but
I wouldn't even consider that trap music.
But you know, they got them like in the trap museum and stuff like that.
Migos?
Yeah, they got them like their pictures and stuff. Because when they first, before the Migos flow really got on, but that's all they did really rap about was like bando and stuff like that. Yeah, they were real. They were like bando, you know what I'm saying? Hustling, trapping, drugs. That's all they were talking about for real.
About in a new style.
Yeah, right,
True,
right.
true.
They just
recycled and adopted and remade. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't equivalent that style to like Bone Thugs, and it came from somewhere. 3 6 Mafia, like the chop or the verses came from somewhere, but they still made it their own and like
for sure.
started a whole new way with it.
Yeah, I remember that time. Busy. Was it Busy or Lazy?
Yeah,
Busy.
Lazy. It was lazy.
Lazy. Tried to get at the Migos, you know.
Really?
Some beef. Yeah, they wanted like some rap beef
Just like
type.
in the last 3 years.
Yeah, because they felt like I think it was because they said Migos might be the greatest group
Of all
rap
time,
group ever. You know what I'm saying? When it's all said and done, and they were like, "Are y'all serious?"
Who said this?
That was the decision.
That's like that was just like the discussion. Like
It was. Hold on, I want to get the right context.
It's
They were proclaiming it, or they were saying they could be.
I think it was more or less they were asking like who is the best rap group, and they were saying like it might be, you know, the Migos. Really, like it might be just because of what I think it was really around the time of Culture, maybe Culture 2.
Like Lazy made a diss track and everything.
But yeah, for real.
Seriously?
Like yeah, he was really tight about that.
He made
but
a diss track.
to be honest, to be fair, I wouldn't say they are bigger. I mean, I wouldn't say they are better than 3 6 or Bone Thugs. As far as me, like those are my top two. I mean, I wouldn't consider Outkast a group. Me personally, I wouldn't. I look at Outkast as really like two individuals who came together to make music. I think even when they did songs, the songs themselves like gave you two different vibes within themselves. I think I always looked at it as Andre giving me one vibe and Big Boy giving me another vibe, and they came together to do music.
Can we unpack this?
Okay,
like
yeah,
So,
we
so
can
what is
stop right
that?
here.
Using that example that you just laid out, how does that differ from a group?
So, when I say a group, I mean like they are all in step together, as in like we are trying to put this sound together, and it's going to sound like this collectively, like as a group. Like each one of us represents this one unified sound.
Okay. You don't feel like Organized Noise was that for Outkast?
I didn't mean as far as production, but what I'm saying is like their diamond albums were their two solo albums, Love Below and Speaker Box.
Yeah.
But it also had the most commercial tracks on it.
But I'm saying, their best or their most renowned work is the work where they pretty much focus on doing solo.
Their most
things.
commercially accepted work. Okay,
because I'm not gonna say it's not the best. I won't say they're best.
The industry worked for Hey Ya in its favor. Like they put it in a familiarity rotation of spins that made people get psychologically stuck on it, and it became a habit for them to listen to.
But
like,
to be honest, and I used to think that album wasn't. That those albums weren't great, but I'll go back and listen to like, especially the Love Below, and maybe it's because I'm a stan. I'm fair enough. I'm a 3K
hard
stan.
For me to really receive what you just said.
But because I always felt like it was, I always looked at them as 3K and Big Boy. I never really looked at them as Outkast.
But I feel like that's probably. I feel like that's because they express their individuality more.
So much different. But
even when they're rapping,
that's the thing for me is that I looked at them as two individuals. Like when I see the Migos, sometimes especially back in the G, when they all used to do the same flow, I couldn't tell the difference between. Only reason I knew Takeoff because his voice was always like deeper.
Okay.
But other than that, I can't tell the difference between Quavo and Offset.
Yeah.
And then I could be like, okay, let's take off because his voice is a little deeper, it's heavier, you know. But I couldn't tell like Bone Thugs. Sometimes you get on there. I mean, you can as you get to know Bone Thugs, but they all sound kind of similar. Not saying they rap the same, but I'm saying as sonically, like to me.
Okay.
Like they sounded like they were all going for this collective sound together. You know,
Yeah.
we are Bone Thugs in harmony. Like, you know, they were outcasts.
Harmonize them together.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were outcasts. Like we different. And I feel like not only were they saying together they're different, I think they were saying, or I took it as even like together, like as a group they are different, but even inside of that group they are still different.
So you don't feel like UGK is like that?
Ooh. Good question.
That is a good question.
I
I looked at UGK too, almost more on some Outkast. Like I looked at them as Bun and Pimp.
Yeah, I was about to say just because he not as far
UGK.
left as Dre was, 3 Stacks.
No, yeah, they were definitely, they was definitely still on their own two
still-
different things. Yeah, for sure. Pimp was Pimp.
Pimp bought the sound.
Yeah.
Bun bought the
Flow.
There you
Right.
go.
Yeah,
There you go.
So
There you go.
But I guess if you look at it like that, they are still a group. So if I were to say best groups, then of course I'm gonna put Outkast as the best
That's your
group.
number
You know,
one.
Sure.
I was just thinking of people who. Well, actually, you know what? That's why I didn't take them too, because it was just two of them. Maybe that's why. So I was trying to think of groups that had multiple people, like more than just two. So I think that's another reason why.
And I'm showing my
excluded
age
them.
here. I mean, you gotta have Wu-Tang in that conversation.
As far as greatest group ever,
You have to.
as far as for the culture,
And no, on top of what you saying, as far as your statement about Outkast, as far as how they express themselves individually,
Wu-Tang was definitely that.
They were
Yeah.
a group of Negroes.
And let's talk about commercial
Came together.
acceptance.
Yeah. They could just
A
came
lot
together.
of white people listen to Whoa.
Yeah. But I mean, I actually got a lesson of like really Wu when I started watching the Hulu
Yeah,
special.
that was good.
And I'm glad
Yeah.
that RZA was able. I think RZA had something to do with that, right?
Right.
Yeah. So he had
I
something.
think he was kind of like the architect. of
Yeah.
everything,
So
yeah.
I'm glad that he was able to actually be the one that was like telling the story, so it could be pretty factual. Yeah. Like so to see like this. Oh, okay.
They were-
Yeah. Yeah, but it was a good story.
Dude,
yeah,
I had
yeah.
no, and I listened to Wu. I had no idea.
That
all
Gizza
stuff.
and Raekwon was beefing like that.
Yeah, that's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, that was
man.
Raekwon that did that. Yeah, that was Raekwon. Yeah.
Hey,
Crazy.
them was really some group
Had-
of individuals.
Had me fact checking, man, because I was like, this is theatrical, but nah, this really happened.
That's a crazy. But I guess it's just you haven't had as many groups lately anyway, so I guess the way that Migos just took it in a time where groups weren't really a thing and still ran off with it, I think that's another reason why I think we got caught up at that time and saying they could possibly be the best rap group of all time. And kind of neglecting the ones from the past because we just kind of took them for granted. Like they already on the Mount Rushmores of groups, right? Like you can't forget about these names. Even though it's more than Wu-Tang and Outkast and 3 6 and Bones, more groups than that, UGK. Those are the ones that we focus on when you say groups. And it's been a while since we've had somebody like that though.
The craziest thing for like people to even make that statement, it's like they only had like 3 albums.
Ooh.
The Migos, 3 albums.
Oh, okay.
As a
I was saying-
group.
you say- no, you saying albums? Okay.
Yeah,
I was about to say,
I specified.
they made plenty
I
of
genuinely
music.
did not know it was that many.
They might have 10 mixtapes though.
But you talking about
Okay,
three, but
okay.
you talking about 3 albums in less than 10 years. So that's like that's the average longevity. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all success in that time. It's
So-
cool, but that's the average longevity at this
So
moment in
do
time.
you
Like,
think Migos are done?
no?
Oh, okay.
I was
so you
gonna
think
ask
that's-
y'all that, 'cause we hadn't heard
They've
from
been
them
in
in
the
a while.
game in a while though. For a
I'm
while
about to
though.
say, but I feel like Outkast could come and drop an album and it would go platinum. So that doesn't
But-
guarantee your like the fact that you choose not to do music over a
Doesn't
certain
mean
course
that you
of
fell off.
years.
I got you.
Like, that don't mean it.
I got you.
Longevity is just longevity.
So you think the Migos could produce an album, and I'm not saying as far as production, but I'm just saying like come up with an album that will be like in the same conversation as like
They don't have an
my
Aquemini.
turn and stuff like
They
that.
don't have an Aquemini in
Oh,
their
yeah.
bag yet.
Yeah.
They
I
don't
mean,
have-
full album,
they
like
don't talk
put it in
to
and let it run.
They
I
don't
don't.
have an Aquemini in their bag yet. Culture was hard.
I about to say that
Culture
Culture
was talked about
album,
him.
yeah, it
Culture
might
about-
be.
Culture
Was it really?
Culture
I think
was talked
so.
about
I
him.
think
Now,
it
it's
was
just
what it
about
was.
Subject based that was different. Topic based, like
Yeah.
what the relatability of it was, but as far as like it slapped,
Yeah, it slapped talked about it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it slapped
But
talked
as far
about
as like, yeah, Outkast was message with theirs. You know, everything they did. Their name Outkast was a message. Players Ball, the first video was like it was a message. Like, oh, y'all want us to just put us on some Christmas album? All right, babe, we finna show y'all how the South do Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like it was we chilling like it was any other day for us.
They
You
were
know
out
what
to
I'm
make-
saying?
They had a point to prove.
Yeah. You know,
yeah.
the South got something to say.
Right,
That's my
Source
boy.
Awards, yeah.
South got something to say. You feel? And ever since then, it's been up. So that's probably another reason why I love Outkast, because they really put on for the South. Like the South took Atlanta in particular.
ATL.
When there was nobody at that time.
Oh,
Like,
really?
all you had was TLC, dog. That's all you had.
But
bro.
think about it though. Think about it. Before Outkast, and I'm showing my age here, but you had Criss Cross. Criss Cross, global phenomenon.
Now-
and they still couldn't put the A on the map.
Right.
Nah, y'all about to
So,
say
I mean,
yeah.
think
Now
about that.
in regards,
Think about that.
Now I ain't gonna say the South, cause what I
That's why I said Atlanta, 'cause I can
what
say
I say is
Scarface.
like as far as impact wise, they didn't make more impact than the Ghetto Boys when they first came out. Not when they first came out. Not when they first came out.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
this.
Well, so what do
Let's
you
talk
mean
about
more
this.
impact?
Cause at the time when the Ghetto Boys came out,
I'm showing my age. Scarface.
Bushwick
Scarface,
Bill.
Bushwick Bill, Ghetto D.
Yeah.
I don't remember Ghetto D. I remember Scarface and Bushwick. I don't know Ghetto D. I'm
I
showing how young I am.
We can. It sounds. It
Chuck-
resonated
it ain't
with
Chuck
me.
D.
It ain't Chuck D.
It
No,
ain't
that's
Chuck
P. Yeah.
Hold on.
Now I about to say, but they Texas, right?
Yeah.
Or at least
Yeah.
I know Scarface.
Like, that's
is.
where the third
Yeah, so-
coast was invented.
Okay, right.
It started in Texas.
Okay,
and then the South started receiving a little more respect. Cause then here come got the Outkast, then come Master P
Right.
circulating
Oh,
around.
goodness,
Like
yeah.
it all just was a wave at one time.
UGK
when it
around
hit.
that time
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Once it bubbled, it bubbled.
So I mean, yeah, I definitely feel that Outkast wasn't, they weren't the all in all for the entire
Willie D.
South.
Willie
Willie
that's
D.
it, That's it.
Bushwick, Scarface, and Willie D.
Okay.
Mind Playing Tricks on Me
Ooh.
was an
Classic.
impactful track, though.
Right. I mean,
It is.
Ghostface has always been. I mean, not Ghostface. Scarface has always been an impactful rapper to me. That's why I actually didn't know about the Ghetto Boys until like Scarface was really on his own, and I had to go back and be like, oh yeah, I knew he was a part of a group.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, to me it was just Scarface. So I was like, yeah, Scarface put on for Texas early, before Outkast. But Outkast still, even with Ghetto Boys,
And part of it was because of Prince too. I say that as well. Like Jay Prince made the impact.
oh, you talking about for Jay Prince? Okay.
because
I'm thinking you talking about Prince,
The artist.
Nah,
the artist, formerly known as.
Jay Prince, the boss man.
Can I say something?
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate y'all. Number one, going back and thinking of Ghetto Boys and stuff like that. That means a lot to me. I'm serious because I think about my adoption to hip hop.
Right.
Growing up, it was you had to go back and get old tapes or not CDs, tapes or records to do your research. So it limited my exposure. But the fact that y'all being significantly younger can still acknowledge a Ghetto Boys and stuff like that, that really does something to me, man. So I just
Right.
wanted to just give y'all respect in that regard. So
Oh yeah, but I think that's the thing about artists then. They were making music that would be here long past their time. It's not even saying when they die. I'm just saying it's long past their run in rap. Right? Nowadays, niggas just trying to make music so we can get hot and bubble up
For
and
the
get this
moment.
money.
Right.
Right? The
Not
music,
thinking longevity.
music is suffering. As far as the timelessness of music is suffering. People all the time say, I miss the old Kanye. Why? It's still on Apple. Just go
I
listen to
remember
it. Yeah, nigga, just go listen to it. It's not gone anywhere. You just, And we are a society that feels like we always have to have something new, and it's like, but get some substance. Like I don't mind if J. Cole never makes another album. I mean, I want him to, but if he never did, he's giving me stuff that I can listen to till I go. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to. I was listening to KOD the other day.
Okay.
I went and ran KOD the other day, and I realized, like, bruh, this whole album is really fire. Like,
KOD was
even though I didn't like it as much when it first came out because I felt like it was a little like I wanted him to get away from just doing like the slow down message. Like, just give me some cold, like some Middle Child. You know what I'm saying? Just Middle Child all the way through. But I mean, I went back and listened to it, and I was like, bro, he still got bangers on there, like bangers. I love Gucci. I
love how real that man is.
It's for real, bro.
Like, if he don't like you,
you gonna know it.
You gonna feel it. You gonna feel it.
And no question.
It ain't gonna be no smiling in your face. It's not gonna be no saturation about it. And it don't matter if you a rapper or a DJ interviewer, podcast or whatever. If he got a problem with you, he gonna speak on it at some point and let you know exactly.
But that's how. And people think that's problematic, but I think that's a good thing. Like, cause you don't want people around you who you can't tell whether they like you. It's like even in the Bible, Jesus said either you're gonna be on one, be hot or cold. Don't be lukewarm. You don't want lukewarm people. You don't, cause you never know what side their allegiance really stands on. Cause they always in the middle. So you can't. You don't know whether you could trust them for real. Like, I don't like to be. I rather know. Oh, I can't trust him, so I need to keep him away from me.
But the world is based on straddling the fence.
That's what.
That's what it is.
So what you mean by that?
What I mean by that is people have not had to be held accountable for walking that line. Like, people sit here and do it to gain. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all might not like each other. You feel me?
I don't like it.
But, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm in the middle. So, instead of me choosing sides, I sit up here and play into what your benefit is to me. I'm going to play into what your benefit is to me. And I'm going to find a way to stay right here for however long as I can until it's time for me to get out. Until the teacher get too hot. And I don't want to be a part of it, but I'm gonna make sure that I milk y'all for everything y'all can get off of y'all in the meantime. Say some dirty stuff to you that he might not have said if I know y'all ain't gonna talk. Say some stuff to him that you ain't said. You know what I'm saying? All to gain favor. You know what I'm saying? People do it all the time.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's why I don't like, because I like to know. I don't want to have to worry about whether the person that's in my circle is somebody who just using me for, you know what I'm saying, selfishly, you know what I'm saying, or around me for just selfish gains. Are they really, you know what I'm saying, for me? Are they just really doing something for themselves? So, you know, I just, because I believe people should be selfish to a certain degree. I believe that people should always put their best interest, you know, before anyone else's. But I think there's also a time too where when you're dealing with somebody who you've put your trust in, now it's okay, I have my best interest at hand, but, you know, I have your best interest at hand because we are now interconnected. We are dependent on each other for whatever reason. Me and Dolo came in this world and became connected, and we like brothers now. For some reason now we have to depend on each other because there's some things he's not gonna be able to do that I can do for him. Some things that I can do that I can't do that he'll be able to do for me. So at a certain time, I still have to depend on you. So that means your best interest is kind of in my best interest too. Right. Because I don't want to be connected to somebody that then isn't able to do what I'm able to do because they are lacking and I wasn't there to help them. You know,
there's nothing wrong with being selfish though. Like, you just because you're selfish doesn't mean that you don't have a dependability index when it comes to the people you care about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can still sit there and give a fuck.
Yeah.
I can cuss on here.
Yeah.
Ask him.
Hey, look, I've been trying to.
Hey, I respect it.
I done thought about letting off a couple
just in case
times.
kids are listening. Speak freely.
It's a rant.
You ain't cussed either, so I'm in there.
Not really. I ain't gonna.
So it made me even more tense.
I just try to be a little more careful with it. Not just because, you know, I can go all day and just like really just be like,
firing
really
off.
Yeah, just firing off. So I use them just but just when I need to.
Yeah, but bro, you can still give a fucking care about your personal interest, man. Cause you're supposed to have personal interest. You're supposed to give a fuck about what's going on with you when these people aren't around. But that doesn't mean that I can't be here for you when you need me to be here for you.
Right.
That don't mean cause shit, me being selfish is me paying my bills.
Right.
Me being selfish is me taking care and putting clothes on my back.
Right,
Oh, that
right.
is selfish.
It's self-care.
Yeah.
Nigga, that don't mean that I don't care about you.
Right.
Right.
But still, at the end of the day, yeah.
And if I have
Beginning of the day, really.
if I have the extra time or the extra resources or the extra, the extra,
And I can
then
contribute to you, then
yeah, for sure. But if I don't have the extra, you got to be okay with me not being able, because it's not my job as
I'm
a
not
friend.
obligated to take care
It's
of
not-
another adult.
grown, grown
Right.
ass
Another
man.
adult, though.
And that's what I think people who have kind hearts have to get away from, thinking that they have to save. My brother used to tell me, he's like, Mike, you got that knight in shining armor syndrome. You're like, well, you feel like you can save everybody, so you spend your entire time trying to save everybody. But at the end of the day, usually the hero is the one that dies at the end.
Come on.
Trying to save everybody.
Yeah.
The vigilance I always stay alive.
And that's been me, honestly, for the majority of my life. As I've matured and gotten like more into adulthood, I've realized I can overextend myself to people, and people really don't care.
Yeah.
And it took me going through that numerous times to be like, okay, well, I'm the one hurt at the end of the day.
Right.
That person over there is still doing whatever.
Yeah, doesn't care at all.
So I kind of had to learn, and it's still a process for me, but I had to learn the art and the value of being a little selfish, and then just kind of build upon that. And I mean, you sleep better,
for real.
You know what I'm saying?
Mine is just more simplistic. I don't even look at it as being selfish. I'm only gonna give a fuck as much as you do.
Yeah.
However many fucks you give towards me is the same amount that I got to return to you.
Right. I like that.
But if I'm sitting out here exerting more energy and effort and more of my time and stress into this situation than you are, then I got to take a step back and look at the situation for what it is and accept you for who you are.
Ooh, nice.
Right.
Now that's on like on any level, like friendships. If you're talking about like intimate relationships, if you're talking about business partnerships, like what it's all supposed to be about reciprocation. Like what I give I should get back. Now it might not look exact. For example, if I'm a person who I know I have a lot of capital to invest, but not a lot of time, and I have somebody who with the time to invest, but they don't have a lot of capital, but we are both in agreement that all right, I can give you this capital as long as you put in this time, and we both say this is what works, then that's cool. It doesn't have to look the same, but then that means what I'm giving in capital, I better see in your time. And then if I'm the person with the time, what you saying in my time, I better see with this money.
Even,
You know what
I'm about to say, even if you made it simple, the bread and water, dog, I got the bread, you got the water. I should never bring more bread here than you got for us to drink, because what we gonna drink now?
Yeah.
We ate all this bread, and you ain't bring no water. My mouth dry. Like, for real.
That's it. That's for real.
Great analogy.
Nah, that just made it so simple though. For real, that made it even more simple. But it just seems like in 2020, people still haven't gotten to the point where, and I speak more for people who grew up in like my area. We like 10 years apart maybe.
Yeah, I'm 38.
So I'm 20. I'll be 30. So about 8, 10 years.
9-10 years.
Okay.
So it's still a difference between how people like you and my brother operate and look at life than like how we look at life.
Right.
I was talking to somebody earlier. I was getting my hair dreaded or locked, and we were talking about how 90, 91 babies and up have had like the biggest shift in like life as far as how things around us have been constantly moving. We've had so much things that happened to us or things that have happened in the world since the 90s that were like catastrophic or big in like affecting how we then go and operate day to day, that it's really been in 30 years, we probably experienced more than our parents did, like their first 30 years of life. You know, in their first 30 years, it was the same. It was the same. Yeah, it was the same thing, right? Yeah. So it's like they were saying the same thing for 20. So yeah, at age 21, shit, you didn't seen the same. Life hadn't really changed from 50 to 70, like that much. You know, yeah, you gonna. By 21, you should have everything figured out because the world ain't changed much, right? You know, and you should be able to then go and get married. We 30 now, you know what I'm saying? The world still it's like we still trying to get caught up. Now, kids who were born in the thousands, they were born into it. So that's why we see some of these young kids coming up getting this money like this because they were born in this world like knowing, oh, school what? For what?
Right.
They ain't even finishing high school getting money right now. So it's just like, school for what? Our parents and y'all were on the end of that, you know, those early 80s, late 70s, baby. Y'all were on the end of that, where like y'all was still kind of brought up to like, well, yeah, it's the same. Like this is the path, this is the way, and like I said, the 90s, baby, we were like, ooh, well, our parents say it's like this, but we see the world going like this. So like, what do we really do? Like, and that's caused us to be to where like even aside from work and jobs. It caused us to have a hard time, it seems like, in relationships too. Just like not even intimate, just being able to actually be in connection with people. You know, like we are so disconnected from people. I think because we are so virtually connected to people, right. So we don't know how to really sense energies. If that makes sense, like, you know, people always talk about energy. Nigga, you don't know what kind of energy somebody got because you ain't around them. Right. You have to really be around somebody to get a good sense. I can kind of get a feeling maybe for how you could be possibly on the internet, but it's the internet. Like, people don't know me from. If you know Rags, and you don't know Michael Raglin. You know what I'm saying? I'm the same person, but I'm not exactly like Rags is almost a character. Like, right? You know, it's a persona. Like it's who I am, but it's a little more amplified. It's a little more character in there because I know that's what this is. You know, that's what it's. I was always on stage. I was always performing growing up. So that's what I grew up. And so for me to be able to separate who I was on the daily to who I had to be when it was time to perform, regardless of what was going on in the daily, how frustrated I was, or maybe my parents or school or just life. When it's time to show up and be Rags is showtime. So I always knew how to cut it on and cut it off. So people who just know me from Instagram, they'll see me somewhere, be like, oh, I didn't know you just be chilling. And I'm like, yeah, like, cause that's really what I do a lot of times. Like, I just do this other stuff because I can, you know, and it's you know, and I'd like to do it sometimes, but really that's not me.
The best way to evaluate who a person truly is to see them in the moment of discomfort.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I like that too though. Yeah, I'm like that too.
Get them out the element, dog. People thrive in the element. Mm. Like, you'll always see the best out of someone if you only see them.
If it's always all good. Yeah.
When you see a person in a moment of discomfort, you'll really see what they about and who they really are, what they morals are, what their foundation is, like how they truly think. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because they don't have time to process. They can't shake back to themselves. They can only revert back to who they actually are.
Right.
Instincts kick in.
Instinct, instinct. You don't have time to sit there and really break it down and analyze it. It's like, oh, you have to react without really thinking about it. Like you said, that's gonna revert you back to who you are at your core.
Well, without revealing too much information, can you give an example of like what that looks like?
Let me see.
I got one for you because I believe in the same thing.
Just okay. So like, say if, for instance, like you've had a situation where it's always good between you and your partner. It's always good. Y'all never argue. Y'all never really have an issue. But just one time comes about where it's a big fallout. Like, it's a really big fallout. And you see this person, like, instead of try to reconcile what y'all had, they step away from you. They fall back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And now they leave it all on you and make it your responsibility to try to patch it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they think that there's nothing wrong with how they acting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's because they not even sitting there trying to process. They don't know about repairing or taking accountability. Hey, dog, I messed up. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, my fault, bro. And not realizing that goes a long way.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it goes much further than people think. As long as it's sincere. Like, don't say that and then go back and do the same shit. Yeah. But, like, people just don't know how to stand on their ground and actually understand, like, what the situation is and the basis of how to be a good friend. People don't know how to be good to people anymore. People only look at people for what their benefit is and what they can do for them. They don't just know how to sincerely be good without needing anything.
Yeah, let me just be a good human. Right. Yeah.
But see, that's how I was. And I was telling somebody that the other day because I had to find the balance of, like we were talking about earlier, being selfish and still being me. Like, even though I'm not trying to save everybody, there are some people, or there are some times where I am saving someone. But what I had to realize then was like, okay, I have here somebody that I know and that I care for who honestly needs help. And although I'm being selfish and worried about me and making sure I'm good, I see that they are almost drowning. Now, am I going to necessarily get in the water with them and help them swim out? Probably not. But I will throw you something to save yourself, some kind of something to help you float until you can get out yourself. Yeah. But when I do that, I'm making sure that it's not something that I'm going to miss. You see what I'm saying? So I can get, if I'm giving you 30 minutes, an hour of my time, then it's 30 minutes, an hour of my time that I don't need necessarily, so I can give you this. Right. And then you don't even have to give it back. I don't even have to have it back. Like, I don't let people borrow money anymore. Like, when I don't let them borrow money. Like, if one of my friends hit me up and like they need $100, if I don't have $100, but I have 50 I can spare, I'm like, I don't have 100 that you could borrow, but I give you 50. Don't worry about paying me back, because I can afford to give you that 50. And I don't even, if you need, like, one time somebody asked me for something, it was maybe like $20 or something. He was sweating trying to pay me back the next week. I was like, bro, if you needed just them $20 to make it through Friday, then I ain't even worried about you trying to come here and like pay me back, because then obviously you need the shit. And if you're struggling to pay me back, as long as you taking care of what you need to take care of, don't worry about them $20. I don't need them. That's why I gave you them $20. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple.
I feel that, but I can and I can appreciate that. But it's like, I just be wanting to, it's not so much as I expect it back. I just want to see where your head at. Yeah. Like, even if it's you trying to pay me $5 a week, I never said how quick you had to return it to me. Right. The fact that you are putting forth some kind of effort.
And it's on your heart to
give it back, dog. Like, it ain't that I'm sweating it. You showing me where your morals at, though. Like, what kind of code do you stand on? Right. That mean you will take from anybody.
Well, yeah.
You'll take, because if you don't show me any intention to pay back, that means you never had intention to pay back. So why ask to borrow it? Right. You knew you didn't want to borrow when you said it. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. So I love to see you do that, because that'll let me know to never give it to you again. I've literally given folks stuff just so I ain't never have to give. No, just so I never had to give them something again. I knew they wasn't gonna give it back when I gave it to them. Okay. It was something that I knew that I could live with letting go of. Yeah. And I would give it to them so I would never have to give some again.
And see, I value that, because I going back to my younger years. I worked while I was in college. Okay. So when it was time to kick it or whatever, I usually had some change on me, whereas, some of my homeboys didn't. Yeah. Right. So I would get in situations where guys would need some or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, of course, I'd be, not frivolous, but I'll be kind-hearted. Yeah, open-hearted with, like, okay, yeah, you need 20 here, 20 there. Oh, you need 50. Okay, I got you. Do, whatever. But I would never verbalize what my expectation was. Right. So I would harvest those negative feelings of, all right, somebody. I know Mike's gonna pay me back. We were kind of like you said, to your point. We were chilling, having a good time, and he, casually said, "Hey, man, let me hold 20 or whatever." Mm-hmm. And so it's my homeboy, but I couldn't articulate like, "Hey, dude, I expect
this back,
or some of that back." Yeah. But personally, I'm such a people pleaser. I would never go to Mike, and I'm using Mike as an example. I would never go to Mike and say, dude, I gave you that 20 under the pretense of you give it back to me, because I'm like, man, that could that could
damage
mess
their
up.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike else told me in 2009 on this comedy. Let me tell you about my money, please. Nah, I work hard.
Right. Seriously.
I work hard.
But that's a good point what you said about people pleasing, because I often look at myself as like somebody who doesn't worry about what people think, but I do often try to please people. I guess, and that might be and I think it might come from me performing so much when I was little. I'm used to me doing something and people being moved
Receptive
some
of it.
sort of way by what I do. So if I do something for somebody and I move them in a way, even if it's like giving them some money and they appreciative and I move them, that's probably why I like cutting hair, honestly. Like, because the reactions I get. Like, I was cutting the guy hair today, and his girl, as soon as she said, "You still ugly," I knew then I snapped. You feel me? I knew right then I snapped. He probably got right as soon as I left. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that made me feel better. He was taking a little video while I was doing the beard, and he had a little smile. Like he just, like, that makes me feel good. Like, you know,
to make other people feel good.
Right. That's so I guess to a certain extent I am a people pleaser too. You know what I'm saying? To a certain extent, I don't care what people think about me, but I do care about how I make somebody feel when they encounter me. If that makes sense.
Man, I've just been carried with having to drag along the burden of being a provider. Like, that's just my nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I got it from my dad. You know, like, my dad was never good at talking.
Okay.
He was never good at conversation in regards to understanding the kid's thoughts compared to an adult's thoughts. You know what I'm saying? But he always was able to, if you need something, you gonna have what you need.
Okay, yeah.
You ain't gotta worry about if you're gonna need it. Whatever you need, I'm gonna make sure it's taken care of. Like, the basis of that, and he's always done that with everybody around him, not just his immediate family. Like, he's always been the person to put people on to things. And you know what I'm saying? Be like that leg up for someone type situation. So that's just naturally me by nature. But I get to a point, and it's just because I have to be that way, because I've seen people suck you dry. Like, they don't have a stopping point. Like, they don't have a, you know what? I done asked this nigga for enough today, this week. You know, I done had this man for $100 this month. I'ma just chill. Right. They don't know.
I'm gonna go ask him again.
Nah, like, they gon' as many times as you say yes, as many times as I'ma ask. They just don't know when to stop. So you have to find the cutoff point. What's enough for you?
Right.
And what ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? What's my limit? I got a limit. You don't know it, but I know it. And I'm gonna let you know when you done got there.
Right. And aside from like anything fiscal, like aside from that, just like on a mental and emotional, like, if somebody is, you can feel like, as much as I loved my last ex, I could feel sometimes, and I think she could too. We could feel how sometimes we loved being around each other, but we were sucking each other dry, if that makes, like, it was to a point that it seemed like there was no vibration. There was nothing, you know what I'm saying? It was just like dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were, I was dying on. It was a lot of passion when we were around each other, like, whether that could be in anger or in bliss, or, you know what I'm saying, it was just real dull. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, that's when you can realize, like, as much as I'm addicted to this, or much as I'm craving for this person to be around me, is really not necessarily the best thing for my going upward. You know what I'm saying? Like, me being who I'm here to be. I see so many people going through that same thing. And if you truly love that person, it doesn't ruin the relationship, as far as like you all being able to still be people who love each other, just not together. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's cool. Like, to be able to get to a point where you can tell your best friend for 30 years that, you know what, you my best friend for 30 years, but at a certain point, I just feel like, damn, it's kind of like, this is where it stops. You know what I'm saying? If you can leave it there and continue to go, then you have done nothing wrong. Like, yeah, so there would be no reason for y'all to have any kind of anger or hate toward each other.
Have a higher purpose in calling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, when you have to leave people, like when you see that connection is a root that's starting to die, you know what I'm saying? for the sake of the entire tree, cut that off and let's keep it moving. And it shouldn't be any beef though. But yeah, man, I believe that people just have to really be, because it's easy for us to see certain things in like one area. Like I said, we can see when something is maybe bad for our money, so we'll cut it out. But we can't see when something is bad for our heart. Something is bad for our mind. And that's why I'm trying to get to a point where like I can see when something's bad for me physically, mentally, socially, spiritually. I want to be able to see it in all facets. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know I'm really out here. Folks always call me, oh, you woke. No, nigga. I'm out here not sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just not out here blind to certain things. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. When people try to approach me with them, I don't dismiss them, but I also don't just say it's true. Like I could be, couldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. All I know is what I know. Right? And outside of that, could be, couldn't be. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I just wish people would be like, all right, boom. This is what it is. It might hurt me to let it go, but it needs to be let go. All right, bet.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Just coming to grip. But pride, I think pride with men is, well, no, because women have pride too.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna even say,
Yes.
I'm not gonna even say it's pride. It's just like after a certain amount of time, it's about comfortability. Like, you don't want to do a reset from the things that you are accustomed to. Like, because even if you in a toxic situation, like you'll go back to it just because you're not used to the feeling of what this is now. Like, you don't like how this feels. You want to go back to what you know.
That toxic thing, that toxic feeling is what feels like you've
that's your normal.
You've become comfortable in it. So it's like, oh, well, this is what it's supposed. I'm supposed to be in a relationship that's basically not basically killing me. You know what I'm saying? In a certain sense, you know. Instead of being able to say, you know what, I'd rather cut this out and do something new without knowing what the ending is. Like, at least with this, I know what it is. I know what I'm getting. With this, I don't know. And that scares, the unknown scares, I'm not gonna say everyone, but it scares the majority of people though. Like, to not know what's on the other side of what you're trying to do. That's why a lot of people
don't take risks.
That's why it took me so long to really say, you know what, I'm gonna be a barber. You know what I'm saying? I've been having folks who've been trying to get me to take this leap of faith for years, and it took me because I was like, shit, well, yeah, some weeks, you know, I'm cutting this amount of heads, I'm making good money, and then some weeks it's kind of dry. So it's like that, the security of not, or the insecurity of not knowing, like, damn, is this really going to be the same? Like, can I depend on me making this much to take care of my bills every week? You know what I'm saying? Instead of just be, you know what, like, I'm just gonna go for it. You know what I'm saying? And just because it could be a blessing.
Yeah,
you know, it could be something that I've been holding myself back from. So that's big for me too. Like, it's hard for me to be acceptable of like what's in the unknown sometimes, and to really just go for it, even if I feel like it's what's best, because it's still so unknown. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get better at that though. Yeah, man. So let me just tell you where I'm coming from. All right. So last 2 weeks, maybe within 5 days of the King Von died, was killed. Mo 3 was killed. Then I saw a tweet. Was it? Damn, it wasn't Money Man. Was it Money Man? Basically saying, no, it was somebody else. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they were saying how, you know, rapping is like one of the most dangerous jobs that you could do. But then I saw Derrick Grace talk about how, it's not rap. It's just the stuff that y'all live in, that you talk about. And when King Von and Mo 3 first died, the first thing I did was stop listening to music like that for like a week. I didn't listen to any gangster rap for a week. And I ain't gonna lie, it changed my whole spirit. I was a lot more upbeat because I was saying, once they died, I went back and listened to some of King Von music. I'm like, oh, he was manifesting this. Like, to be honest, like, if you keep saying you big and bad enough and you gangster and you want niggas to try your gangster, eventually somebody gonna try your gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are only manifesting somebody, because just because you crazy and got money don't mean it's a crazy nigga without money who you don't even know that ain't ready to just try to take your head off. Right. You know what I'm saying? His situation happened to be he was beefing with somebody else that he knew. You know what I'm saying? He knows Quando Rondo. Like they've done things together. They've done shows together. Like so he knows the person that he was beefing with, but still like you just never know. So I just think when you rap that so much, it's like, yeah, you eventually that's what you want to happen to you. And so I was thinking that somebody who was consuming that much and really liking that type of rap, like
I don't really think it's about even liking it, man. It's just about he really just talked about what he knew.
right.
Like he's been in and out of jail his entire life.
Right.
He's only 26. So
Right.
he spent half of his time in jail.
Right.
On the other half, he done spent it in shootouts and selling drugs. Like, so even if I want to become a rapper, the first thing that I'm gonna talk about at that moment in time is what I know.
Right.
And if I'm not sitting up here with the objective to become woke or find what the other side of the spectrum is, he didn't really have time to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It kind of was cut short before he was ever able. Like when everybody ain't in LE Chopper, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like who
right.
just, I don't know what happened.
Bro said he just got enlightened.
I about to say I don't know what was the life changing moment for him.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
That just made him convert.
Probably
to that
seeing
point.
a lot of his niggas that, I mean, he did music with Juice WRLD. Like a lot of his young niggas dying.
He was with
Off
Von
of-
too. He
That's
took
what I'm saying.
pictures with
That's what
all
I'm
of
saying.
them.
They
Yeah,
dying.
so-
He told King Von, like he had tweeted King Von like maybe some weeks or months ago, like, bro, you really need to change your music. Like what you could when he first got enlightened, he was because you're just trying to tell all his homeboys what you rap, what you know what I'm saying, what you manifest. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I think you can still be like and I guess Little Baby still does it sometimes where he still talk his shit. But
he
for the
only
most
talk-
part,
he only speaks, he only rapping. But the Lil Baby has only at one point in time made a song that ain't either lavish or trapped.
right.
You know what
But
I'm
I'm saying,
saying?
but his isn't still just like I don't mind you popping your shit on something like I'm that nigga, but like don't make it to where like and come see about me and let's see what happened. Like 'cause that's what I think that's the message I get from when I like listen to I Am What I Am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I guess it's just one of those situations where it's like some make it out, some don't. Cause it's
Right,
like
yeah,
she,
no, for sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She keep did the
Right,
same
right,
thing,
right,
and he's
right.
still here to talk.
Yeah,
about
you right.
it.
It just yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just about different strokes for different folks in different situations. You know what I'm saying? Like he did what he said he was gonna do. Bro didn't come over there and up no guns.
Right.
He put his hands on that
him,
man.
yeah.
That man partner just shot him
Right,
because
right.
he didn't want his partner to take that ass with him.
Right, right.
But he wasn't on the type of time that you gotta die about it.
Right.
People fight all the time.
Right.
People just don't know how to fight
Lose,
no more.
yeah.
they
They
can't
lose.
take that L.
Yeah.
Because I don't see nothing wrong with that. On that
I didn't
on that
either. I didn't
perspective,
either.
you know
But it
what
was
I'm
just
saying?
like,
it's
but
just like,
but if I hear you say shit like you would do this or you would do that shit, might as well go on just in your ass now.
Yeah.
Pop smoke. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
and
Like
I
you say
feel it.
you say if you say you gangster like that, niggas gonna see.
Yeah,
niggas
and I feel
niggas be
it.
waiting for you to come to another. A lot of these people dying in different. Pop Smoke was in L.A. I mean, it was in Cali. I don't know if he was necessarily in L.A., but he was in Cali.
Yeah.
Bun in Atlanta just moved to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? A few weeks before. You know what I'm saying? He died. Like you not even in your zone no more. So you can't be Chicago Bun. You feel what I'm saying? In Atlanta.
Yeah.
Cause you in Atlanta now. You see what I'm saying? This ain't even your place.
But based on what the situation was, like it just wasn't premeditated.
Right, yeah.
So it was so won't.
Yeah, it was just happened. So he just reacted. He was just reacting.
This all took place in less than 5 seconds. Like the whole like situation. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he got out. Somebody came to the car, told him Quando was there. He got out the car immediately. As soon as he gets out the car, like they would literally just park behind him.
Yeah.
They was parked behind him. The police was a detail car that they didn't pay attention to the fact that it was a detail car. It was right here. They walked right across. He saw Quando. He hit him. Boom, boom, boom.
Then
as soon as they got to the back of the car, he come right on the side,
shot him.
hit two, 3 times, and then he get shot by the police, and the police shoot everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like you can't. It's just certain situations you don't have time.
You can avoid those situations though.
It was one of them situations where they said that, man, like they had no time. He moved so fast that they didn't have any time to get.
That's
to
what
him.
but I know I'm saying he didn't even have to get out the car. Like they could have went on he came, you got your money. They paid you for an appearance. You came for what you came for. You know what I'm saying? Go on to the crib, bro.
Yeah, but
because it's bigger than you now. Because now it's bigger than because you feeding a lot of mother.
But it's just like one of those situations of like you with me. If you ain't got time to be like, hey, to get a hand on me,
but I'm trusting that you. That's what I'm saying. It's not up for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? To stop King Von. I'm saying because King Von got to think. I'm the breadwinner. Like all these niggas that he probably got niggas living with him and like it wasn't. I'm sure it's just not him in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure he paying for niggas to come stay with him. You know what I'm saying? Like paying, putting them up like they all do. So you feeding all these folks. Like all these folks eating because of you.
But the manager,
so it's bigger than that.
The manager definitely said that he just wasn't himself. Like he
said
he usually move like that. He just
right. And that's what I hear from. That's what I hear about him. But that one time can cost you your life, especially when you move the way you move.
In Mode 3 situation, that ain't got nothing to do with
rap.
That
he'll just say, that
ain't got nothing to do with rap. That's deeper. That's Texas. That's Dallas, Texas situation that ain't got nothing to do with rap at all.
Oh, okay.
That's much deeper than that.
But I'm saying, he raps about. You know what I'm saying? That type of.
But the person he beefing with do too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like so they didn't all spoke their piece.
Right. For sure. Yeah.
In regards to how
they both attacked each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't just it ain't just him. It was Mode 3 too. So it's just like So I mean, but I'm just saying like why
they ain't have to shoot Booster though, man.
Yeah, he got shot in the leg. They say he might have to get amputated too.
They said that was false though.
But you know he does have diabetes, so it could always be a complication. It could always go left.
They say he had to have 2 surgeries on it though for sure.
Got at the man like memorial service.
Seriously,
got shot in the leg.
That's crazy out there in Dallas right now. I ain't trying to go nowhere.
I mean, but people be forgetting that first 4 days was in Dallas.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. People be forgetting. You know what I'm saying? Like they get about their business too. Like they get active.
Yeah.
So it is.
So let me ask you this.
Okay.
Honestly, I heard about King Von when he died. I hadn't heard his raps or anything like that.
Drill music.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a drill.
Chicago drill.
He was the newest leader of drill music.
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna Google.
Like the Chief Keef started.
Oh, is that called drill?
But it's certain country. I mean, not countries. Certain regions have their own like because Chicago was the form of drill music. Pop.
I was about to say, it's almost like New York adopted that sound after Chicago.
Yeah.
Because after that you had like Casanova. You know what I'm saying? Casanova 2 times. I would consider that drill. You know what I'm saying? Like then you had Pop follow that way. Like that's all still forms of drill music, but Pop was able to sauce it up a little bit more than just make it drill.
Right.
Okay. Like because Pop wasn't just necessarily talking super gangster on his tracks. Like that went all his track selection. That went all the topic. But he definitely had the moments where he let you know he a big cripper and you know what I'm saying, he stepped
with the woo baby.
Yeah. So
my question was in terms of rap, given what y'all just shared, it's not just entertainment.
No, it's not.
I'm asking.
No, it's a lifestyle. Okay. It's a lifestyle.
I let him answer because he's the rapper.
It's a lifestyle. Whether you being fake about it or whether you being real about it, that all be evaluated in the time that you staying on that throne. You know what I'm saying? However long you in that light, is the longer you got to be revealed on whether you real about it or not. Because it always come a time.
But sometimes it could be not necessarily your life that you're rapping about too. Because I remember when I watched the documentary of Pusha T brother called Kane, right? His name was Kane.
I can't remember what he was called, but I know what you're talking about.
I saw his documentary and he actually talked about how their cousins and like their older cousins were the ones that actually like were cooking it up. It's like it wasn't him and Push. They were just there. They saw it, but they weren't the ones actually doing it, right? But Push raps it as if he did if he's, but he can do it so well because he still saw it, but he wasn't necessarily doing it. You know what I'm saying? But
you know what he does? He sits there and avoids situations where he has to be, where he puts himself in a position to be revealed in that regard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but so that's why I was saying, like, whether you fake about it or real about it, it's gonna come a time where that's gonna be evaluated by the people that ain't in the industry.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just inevitable if that's what you're talking about. And it's okay. Like, if you know how to prevent it, then you do the measures to prevent it.
Right.
But I'm not gonna sit up here and say that I'm big enough that if a nigga got the nerve to put his hands on me, I ain't finna try to put my foot up his ass. Like at that point in time, I ain't thinking about damn I could get shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's about you just touch me. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you touching me and me not doing shit could just be as bad for my career. Cause now everybody feel like when they see me, yeah.
But see, that's because that's.
Cause I ain't saying in a situation where I feel
like if somebody came and honestly tried Wiz, if Wiz didn't respond, people would say something, but it wouldn't mess up his rap credibility because Wiz doesn't rap about being the most gangster nigga. You see what I'm saying? So it only mess up a nigga rep for a nigga who say I'm this type of nigga.
But the thing about it is, before Wiz even blew up, he was on video at the time when Lil B got beat up. I don't know if you can remember, this was like 2010, 2011. Lil B was on camera getting slapped like
by who?
A random, like fired up. And Wiz saw that video when he was on camera. He said, if a nigga put his hands on me like that, dog, he got to see these.
Yeah, I mean, most niggas gonna say that, but I'm saying as far as messing up the allure of what you are as a rapper.
But you know why I went at this moment in time? Not even in regards to his topic or subject. It wouldn't bother you because niggas know he do Muay Thai. They watched him sit here and get big, put on an extra 20 pounds, and they know he got feet and hands at this point in time. So if he let you go, they gonna think, oh, he was sparing him.
Yeah.
He was sparing him.
I mean, most niggas not gonna let. That's definitely putting your hands on somebody is definitely a sign of disrespect. And most men, most women, most children, most anybody would retaliate in some sort of way. Even though at that same point, I'm still going to always be thinking though that this could end left. Like even if it's on some, like I told you, I almost got into something in Atlanta a couple weeks ago. Like if it would have went there, I mean, I'm gonna have to handle it here. But as soon as I'm getting out the club, I'm thinking, shit,
I gotta get gone.
Fuck out of here.
I gotta get gone. Ain't no lounging, ain't no lingering around. Yeah,
ain't no trying to go see about them again.
No,
I'm trying to
we
get
going
out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm thinking. Like, if y'all already know something kind of happened inside the club, and then it's gonna be outside the club, and niggas get into their cars.
Yeah.
Of course.
But the thing is, even with Von, like the car was bulletproof, but you weren't in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're not in there.
You wasn't in it.
You outside.
The car was bulletproof.
You outside they car.
So, and that's what you mean, like you probably
and see that in the car. Now I'm about to say, now you definitely need to be checking your surroundings before you be impulsive. You know
right, but that's all I'm saying.
That's what the issue was with him. Like he didn't sit there and.
Like, did he really peep what was going on?
Thought he was there by himself?
He just turned. I think he saw him and went red. Like
he just blacked out, dog. Yeah. Like he was just on that time. Like because when he saw him, he didn't talk. You see him and throw a punch. Yeah, he throw a punch right after.